Oratio Imperata. God our Father, we come to you in our need to ask your protection against the 2019 and coronavirus that has claimed lives and has affected many. We pray for your grace for the people tasked with studying the nature and cause of this virus and its disease, and of stemming the tide of its transmission. Guide the hands and minds of medical experts that they may minister to the sick with competence and compassion, and of those governments and private agencies that must find cure and solution to this epidemic. We pray for those afflicted. May they be restored to health soon. Grant us the grace to work for the good of all and to help those in need. Grant this through our Lord Jesus Christ, your Son, who lives and reigns with you in the unity of the Holy Spirit, God forever and ever. Amen. Mary, help of all Christians, pray for us. Saint Raphael the Archangel, pray for us. Saint Roch, pray for us. Saint Lorenzo Ruiz, pray for us. Saint Pedro Calungsod, pray for us.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to UnionBank GlobalLinker SME Learning Series. We've tackled a lot of topics during this quarantine that includes future-proofing your business, maximizing lead generation in the digital world, data privacy, as well as exporting your products and many others. If you missed those episodes, go and watch them in Olern page. I'm Jerry Ila, the co-founder of Olern, your e-learning platform for SMEs, and also Tarki, the automation tool for field employees. And this morning, we will talk about not just transitioning to the new normal, but also funding it. Yes, now that we are in this modified ECQ, we need to talk about how to transition your business and possibly finding ways to finance it as well. So please say hi and where are you from in the chat box. And also, let me introduce my co-host, the Vice President of UnionBank SME Platforms Head, Mr. JP Soliman. Hi, JP. Uy, nakamute ka, JP.
Yan, hindi na ako nakamute. Hello, magandang umaga. Mga all-learners, na-miss ko kayo. Sobra, tagal tayo din nagkita. Kamusta kayo lahat?
Yes,
Hello.
kamusta ka, JP?
Surviving. Very much surviving. I think, happy in a way na modified ECQ na tayo. Hindi na talagang super lockdown. Napapansin ko din, marami na ata tayong mga kasamang SMEs na slowly nagbubukas na rin ulit, no? Nag-ooperate na rin sila ulit. Pero guys, please be careful. Hindi porket medyo pwede na, ibig sabihin wala na yung virus, nandiyan pa rin po siya. So, ingat tayong lahat.
Yes, safety first. Are you back in the office for Union Bank ba? Ano yung arrangement nyo ngayon?
Well, for Union Bank, I think yung back to office program namin, yung plan namin is to slowly bring everything back to the head office, no? So for I think for this month all the way to around August or September, pacing talaga siya. May mga
Mm,
palit-palit or only around 30% of the workforce will be able to go back, and then slowly 50% by year end. So dahan-dahan. In fact, we will be providing them also mga test kits. We will
yeah,
provide
that's
test
very
kits to
important.
employees para masigurado yung kanilang safety. Disinfection, lahat ng bagay, even yung social distancing. So may sukat sa opisina kung saan ka pwede umupo, yung mga ganon. Yan. So,
Yeah,
lahat yan
maganda yon,
naka-prepare.
maganda yon. And actually, na-mention, naalala ko lang din, for those na, for those who are thinking, mga SMEs who want to, parang, who don't have a protocol yet on safety for their employees. AFI pala, we have what do you call this, upcoming training on safety protocol for employees. Maganda for big companies, parang may mga resources talaga to set that up. Yon, for SMEs, if you don't have an safety protocol yet, yan, AFI, Association of Filipino Franchisers is having that.
Yeah.
Yan, para mag-develop ng own safety protocol for your company.
Oo, maganda yan para sa mga MSMEs kasi alam nyo, napag-isipan na ng malalaki, implement nyo na lang din sa inyo, di ba? I-share naman yan,
Yes.
sigurado ako. We will always love to share our safety protocols to the MSMEs.
Yeah, that's good. It's like sa amin, hindi pa buo siya. So
Ganun
we're
ba?
still, kumbaga, thinking on how to proceed given the situation that we are in.
Yeah, right, right.
Yeah.
Jer, napansin ko pala, okay pala itong ginagawa natin, no? So nagsimula tayo with all of those webinars and talks para wag matakot yung mga SME of what the future is coming to, no? And then somewhere
Yes.
in the middle, we started talking about ano yung mga transformations na kailangan mangyari. Ito na yung mga e-commerce, yung mga lead generations, etc. And then now, we move to the almost the part where we are now saying, ito na yung mga how-tos, ito na yung mga real-life
Yes.
scenario tips kung paano tayo makakabalik. Diba? Hindi naman siguro balik sa dati, pero paano tayo makaka-step forward or bounce forward, kumbaga, yung sabi ni no? Kasi nga, sobrang dami ng tawag ngayon. New normal, now normal, future normal. Kung ano man yan, it will be normal for all of us soon enough. Diba? So,
Totoo yan.
yeah, perfect timing na yung mga guest din natin today on their own has experiences in being an SME and also stepping into the world of business and finance and all of this, no? Kaya magandang webinar yung meron tayo ngayong araw nito.
Yeah, and especially if you're when you have to bounce back minsan, 'di ba, during the past 2 months, whether alam naman natin, 'di ba, a lot of SMEs have struggles financially din dahil walang pumapasok na benta. And that's why this is a very good kumbaga, ayan, pag-usapan natin paano maka-transition to the new normal as well as ano yung mga financing opportunities or options for them kasi I'm sure marami sa mga entrepreneurs ngayon nag-iisip paano ko ba ma-reboot yung business and paano kung kailangan ko ng kapital to restart it.
Yes,
Ano yung mga options available for me?
exactly. At sa panahon ngayon, hindi na I guess hindi na fit yung sinasabing mga collateralized type loan kasi imagine gaano katagal aabutin yung application mo, 'di ba? Baka nakahiga na yung aso, nag-a-apply pa rin, 'di ba? Or
Yeah, totoo
nagpo-processing pa rin,
yan.
'di ba? So maraming mga alternative ways of borrowing and our guest right now could also help us on that.
Yes. Before
Uh,
natin sila introduce, JP, batiin lang natin yung mga nanonood. Yan, si Adrian nandito from Las Piñas, si Majo din from Cainta, si JR Solon watching from Bacoor. Ann is also here. Tapos si Grenesa. Yan, hi sa inyong lahat. Yan si Arms din and then si Joy Joy. Vina, marami pa. Maraming salamat po for watching this session. And if you just came in, please say hi and where are you from sa ating chat box.
yeah, sa
Ayan.
mga nanonood, if you want to start your own watch parties, please do para mas marami pa po tayo ma-reach na mga SMEs and mga kaibigan natin dyan. Right. So
Yes.
let's introduce our speakers today, no? Para makita sila ng mga viewers natin. First speaker for today, we have abogada. Ingat tayo sa mga sabihin natin, Jerry. Si
Alam mo ba,
Atty.
JP,
Uh,
ano lang, singit ko lang. Alam mo, pinapanood namin ng family. Siyempre, nanonood kami ng Chloe, etc. with the kids. Yan yung bonding moments namin. And
uh,
ngayon, ang pinapanood namin, Suits
ay,
sa Netflix. So, yun, all about lawyers. Yan. So,
may meaning kung bakit yun ang pinapanood mo. Kasi yung guest
yeah.
natin ngayon, abogado. Right. So, our first guest is a she. So she is the general counsel of First Circle Growth Finance Corp, a fintech company offering short-term financing solutions to SMEs. No, she's received her bachelor's degree cum laude in communications from Arneo, the Manila University, and obtained her law degree from the University of the Philippines. So our guest is is Attorney Karla Messing, and Attorney Karla is also a Tove Reynolds Certified Data Protection Officer. Ba, ang dami palang ginagawa niya. Attorney Karla.
Hi, good
Hi,
morning. Good morning.
morning,
Good
Start
Attorney.
up,
morning,
alam naman
attorney.
natin, we wear many hats, syempre.
Yes,
Para we also learn a lot of things along the way kapag ano, di kaysa yung very specific yung ating requirements. So good morning sa mga nanonood sa ating streamed learning session with Olern and GlobalLinker.
thank you. Attorney, kamusta ka naman dyan?
Okay naman, good morning, nasa bahay pa rin. Like you, we're also trying to transition very slowly into the new normal. Kasi hindi na rin pa pwedeng masyadong lumabas, and then kailangan you really observe social distancing and physical distancing even at work, di ba? So what we're trying to do is for those of us that can actually work productively from home, we are keeping them home. And may mga daily check-ins, weekly check-ins, so we know the progress of the initiatives that we're working on, and we still stay connected. I think yun yung important eh. Sanay tayo na nakikita natin, ka-lunch natin, ka-kape, ka-merienda yung office mates. That's very important, di ba, in an office culture. So right now, medyo iba na yung way mo to connect with your office mates.
Right. Pwede naman mag-Zoom lunch or mag-Facebook Live lunch yung mga office mates, di ba?
Or inuman, yung mga ganyan. For those that still
Yeah.
have no liquor ban na, abogado ko baka sabihin sa akin. Baka yun naman. May liquor ban pa rin po in certain area. Pero
Dito sa Makati at Taguig, walang liquor ban. Ang Quezon City,
Ayun.
liquor ban. Sorry. Anyway, so let me introduce our second speaker. I think sabay ata sila, no, pagdating sa presentation. So our second speaker is now he. No, he is the head of sales and customer support teams of First Circle, also managing new business acquisitions, customer retention, and customer care. Ang maganda dito, our guest, si Marcus Erlano, is also a practitioner, an SME himself in terms of Click Events Manila, an events and PR company. So, welcome, Marcus.
Good morning, magandang umaga sa mga O-learners natin sa session natin ngayon sa UnionBank GlobalLinker SME session. And thank you, Jerry and JP, for the introduction. And I'll be more than happy to help out SMEs just like me and MSME owners like me na mag-bounce back tsaka mag-transition to the new normal today.
Right. Si Marcus,
Yes.
nasa opisina na.
Yes, nasa opisina tayo since yesterday.
Pero wala siyang kasama sa likod niya.
Oo, kasi daw mainit sa bahay. Ayun din ang isang iniisip ko eh, kung mag-request ako, boss, pwede ba ako bumalik sa opisina? Kasi dyan, 24/7 ng aircon eh.
Yeah.
Mabilis sa
Tapos,
internet, di ba?
yeah. And also, yung sinasabi nila, yung mga chairs, di ba? Sabi namin, miss ko yung chair sa office.
Totoo, yun yung sinabi ko, ergonomic chair. Sa totoo lang, after kasi lumabas nung Meralco bill ko, no, parang gusto ko na talagang bumalik ng office. Medyo napamahal tayo na pag-tupan.
Yan ang mga shocks natin, mga phone bill, yan, mga kuryente, Meralco bill, yung mga shocks natin na aabangan in the
Yung
coming
mga
days.
SMEs natin na nanonood, kung kayo rin na bill shock, message nyo lang sa ating live comments. Alright. So, Jerry, I think it's time
Yeah.
we can turn over the talk to them.
Yes, so we're excited for your talks, Marcus and Karla. Siguro we can start with Marcus. The floor is yours.
All right, thank you. So let me just give myself a brief introduction as mentioned earlier. No? So my name is Marcus Erlano, and I'm the head of customer success at First Circle. So those are two teams. You have the sales team and also the customer support team. So lahat ng mga customer facing natin, yan usually yung minamanage ko. And ang maganda dito, nakakasalimuha ko yung mga customers natin, and based from them and also from my experience as a proprietor of an SME myself, I'm able to provide the learnings that we've had these past months, and also how would be able to transition to the normal. And just to give you an idea, guys, ang i-share ko sa inyo with the current economic situation, yung kumpanya ko personally is actually experiencing losses as our services are non-essential. So just imagine, guys, yung mga events and the PR junkets, hindi na siya natuloy, and there are actually hotels who are not even pursuing any events up until December. So pinospone na siya at may mga nagka-cancel na ng mga events. Pero despite this, we are able to pay our losses naman, and kahit provide tayo ng OPEX, and i-share ko sa inyo yung mga learnings natin dyan. So next slide, guys. First and foremost, as you can see, guys, balik na ako sa office. And one of the things that you need to consider is we need to make sure that we comply before actually opening our business again. So simple lang naman, just 3 things that I would want to share. We need to make sure that we mitigate risks first so that we get to enhance productivity. What do I mean by this? You need to make sure na physically well yung mga tao nyo, tsaka mentally prepared sila dito sa papasukin nila with the new normal. So right now, guys, here sa First Circle, we are doing a skeletal workforce, and I'm part of it already. And we just need to make sure that the people that we let in are actually healthy and have low exposure. Tapos basic health procedures as well that we do in the office right now. We disinfect all the time, personal and also the whole space and work area. We're also wearing face masks in places wherein we are sharing, or places we are sharing with other people. And every day that we come to work, we provide a symptoms questionnaire and temperature check. So the building itself has its own temperature check, tas kami din sa office. And physical distancing, so employee proximity natin, ang pinaka-challenge sa amin dito sa First Circle is that we have a open floor area. Pero what we do is we try as much as possible to have certain blank spaces in between each employee. Tapos physical meetings, kahit na magkakasama kami sa office, naka-online and naka-video meetings pa rin kami. Pati yung mga social activities natin, tayo mga Pinoy pamandin, mahilig tayo kumain together. We don't do that now. So do not forget, guys, if your company can afford the testing, it's a very, very good investment. Please do conduct them. Kasi mas mahal kung a second wave of COVID-19 will be, kung naabutan tayo nun. Mas magiging mahal, tsaka mas magiging deadly sa business nyo yan. So please do contact the LGUs for you to be able to get testing within your premises. So let's now move on the talk in transitioning to the new normal. So what does it mean to us? Okay. So balikan natin, guys, yung the past 2 months. Tanungin niyo yung sarili niyo, how did you brace yourselves in the eve of the storm? Sabi nila sa business, first and foremost, you need to stop the bleeding, no? So how did you stop the bleeding? And what did you learn in the past 2 months? If you're gonna see the slide, the best analogy I could give you is placing a window shutter to make the house storm resistant. Okay? Para sa akin kasi there's no such thing as storm-proof. Pero if you are able to create layers of protection, it lessens the risk of losing everything. So ano bang nagawa natin in the past months? And don't forget, guys, huwag kayong matakot. May time pa naman kayo to make it resistant up to now. Don't think that you wasted the 2 months, because there are still things that you are able to apply. Okay? So the first one is you need to make sure that during the past 2 months, you estimated the non-productive months. Medyo detrimental sa atin. Dapat naisip nyo na hindi 1 month lang yung COVID-19. Ang dami pa man sa atin Pinoy, medyo optimistic tayo. And optimism is commendable, but in this case, you need to make sure that you look at the worst case scenario. So lumalabas ang community quarantine natin is nasa, I'm not sure kung day 65 or day 66 na tayo. And you need to be realistic with yourself. Can a cure really be available in the next 3 months? Okay? And the question you should ask is, how much am I willing to lose, as opposed to how can I earn? Okay? So ngayong panahon na to, tanungin mo sarili mo, ano ba ang kaya kong ipatalo kaysa ano yung kaya kong kitain? Pangalawa is, dapat by now you have already computed the average monthly cash flow. So what do I mean by that? Magkano yung, or ilang pera yung lumalabas at saka para saan sila. So how much money is coming out and what they are for. At the same time, we need to also compute how much money is projected to come in and what percentage will surely come in. Okay? So maliban sa projected ko, around kung sabihin mong 1 million yung papasok, pero realistically, magkano ba talaga yung makukuha ko nun? And guys, you need to compute how long your runway is. Kunyari, meron kayong say 200,000 pesos, ilang buwan yun tatagal. Okay? Pagkatapos mag-ayos i-compute yun, or pagkatapos nyo i-compute yun, next step that you should have done would be to cut costs. Now, how do you extend your runway? Kung yung runway mo right now is kaya ko mabuhay or yung business ko can survive 2 months, how are you able to extend it? For example, masabi natin na 6 months down the line, na kailangan mo na to make sure na may pang-OPEX ka kahit hindi ganun kadami yung project. So first and foremost, you need to plot out cost-saving measures on a month-to-month basis. Hindi enough na nag-cost measures ka or cost-cutting measures ka ng first month. Kailangan, guys, unti-unti mo siyang ginagawa na meron ka for month 1, month 2, month 3, and so on and so forth. So guys, I'll give you a study of a business. Partly siya sa business ko na in-apply, pati yung mga ibang customers natin. So, for example, month 1, nakita na natin sa unang buwan kailangan magtipid. Anong mga pwedeng gawin sa unang buwan? So, may mga subscriptions na hindi ginagamit, or kung kaya naman mag-manual work, you can forgo subscriptions. And then also, kung meron kang employee incentives, like for example, mga bonuses, in reality, mahirap naman talaga bumenta, right? So, pwede mong i-restructure yun and actually try to, alam mo yun, ibalik muna tsaka wag muna mamigay. Now, month 2, dumating na. Nakita mo na kailangan ko pang pahabain yung runway ko. So, ano yung mga pwede mong gawin? On a month 2, isa sa mga ginawa namin is, sa business ko is we renegotiated lease contracts. Meron po kasi kami isang warehouse tsaka isang office space. So, ang ginawa ko po, namili po ako ng isa, tapos yung isa po, renegotiate ko na hindi namin naokupahan at hindi muna namin babayaran. Pero yung isa, kinip namin. Also, meron po kami mga loans, no? Ang ginawa din po namin is nag-restructure po kami. Realistically, which is hindi lang po kami, pati a lot of customers here in First Circle, ang ginagawa po nila is tumatawag sila and see how they can extend the runway kasi hindi pa po nila kaya magbayad, or pinag-iipunan nila or iniipon nila yung pera na yon for future need for capital. So, ang ginawa po, or pwede nyo gawin is you can restructure any loans that you have. And month 3, masakit man, but you would need to make sure, guys, that there are some things that you would need to let go of. Pwede po siyang rental space, pero sana hindi naman din po mangyari. Pero may mga empleyado rin po tayo na medyo sa tingin natin na hindi makakatulong sa pag-bounce back ng ating negosyo. There will be times that you would need to make sure that as much as you can take care of them, think about options to cost or cut costs. Next, guys, is conserve cash. So, paano kayo makakapag-conserve ng cash? Medyo mahirap, guys, na maglabas ng pera ngayon, sa totoo lang. So, make sure that kung meron kayong mga bills na upcoming or meron kayong mga bayarin, get payment extensions. You'd be able to do that or get that. Just make sure na una, hindi kayo nagbe-burn ng bridges with your vendors. And at the same time, compute nyo din. Baka mamaya pag nag-payment extension kayo, mas mahal pa yung babayaran nyo dahil may penalties. Also, guys, kung meron po kayong mga suppliers, try yung barter or look up the possibilities of X deals kaysa sa cash for payment. And then, lastly, guys, compute nyo rin yung magkano yung sinesweldo ng mga empleyado nyo. Tapos, also, narinig ko na rin na ginawa ito ng isang business, right? And then, magkano ba yung kailangan nila talaga para mabuhay? And then try to defer it. Like, for example, in the next X months, we will try to defer your salaries first and then try to give them options on compensation. And guys, isa sa mga important na dapat by now ginagawa nyo na is to keep credit lines open. Okay? Ngayon, guys, as you can see, unti-unti na nagbubukas yung ekonomiya, and isa sa mga, or yung dalawa sa mga industries na nagbukas ngayong MECQ would be yung manufacturing, pati yung construction. So you need to make sure, guys, that pag nagbukas yung mga industriya nyo, you have available funds ready to jumpstart your business. So ano ba yung mga funds na sinasabi natin? Kailangan ko ba ng kapital? Okay? Or kailangan ko lang ng pampondo ng project? So to give you guys an idea, sa totoo lang, kung meron naman kayong mga gamit or kagamitan na sa office, hindi nyo kailangan magdagdag. Okay? That is enough. But what you will be needing is working capital for you to be able to take on projects when your business opens. And just a piece of advice to everyone, guys, before you take on financing, see first what the financing is for and see if that is perfect for the kind of funding that you need. Ang dami po kasing tao, makumukuha po sila ng financing na medyo mahaba. Kuha sila ng traditional financing sa bangko na mahaba, pero isipin mo, 3 buwan mo or 3 taon mo yun babayaran, pero hindi naman talaga yon or hindi yun pang 3 taon na pondo. Kailangan mo lang yung pondo for the first 2-3 months or something. So, meron tayong tinatawag na short-term financing, and that's one thing that you would need to look at. Okay? Marami kayong options for you to be able to make credit available for you. An example would be to bootstrap or kayo mismo ang maglabas ng pondo. Pero do not forget that you are still coming out from losses. Pangalawa din is meron kayo isipan mo na may family or friends naman ako mauutangan. Pero guys, wag nyo din kakalimutan na pati sila guys, they are experiencing the same losses as you are. So, what is your best option? Your best option right now is actually to have a financial partner who is able to provide working capital financing that you can easily tap once the economy starts to pick up. Now, what do I mean by this? So, ito yung mga financial partners nyo na nagbibigay ng short-term financing na no collateral. Kasi sometimes, guys, yung mga collateral na long-term financing natin, it actually takes a long time for you to be approved. So, look for someone fast, flexible, and also fair when it comes to giving you financing. Now, bouncing back, okay? So, marami tayo narinig, di ba? What do you call this? Ang sinasabi, only the strong survive. Pero actually, that's not true. Now is actually the race to survive, and the fittest emerges the victor. This is a time when the phrase only the strong survive does not apply. Don't forget, pag kukumpara natin sa mga atleta, it takes more than that to win in the marketplace and the game. Okay, so make sure guys that all of you are within coming into this new normal are diligent, agile, strategic, and flexible. Okay, so diligent guys in a way that nakita nyo that supply chain disruptions, maraming gaps na na-create to sa market natin, and you're able to bounce back if you find the market in the gap actually guys. This requires constant research and experimentation to disprove hypotheses. So ano ibig sabihin to guys? Perfect time to actually to experiment guys and see kung saan ba talaga tayo pwede magpasok ng negosyo. Okay? So, kwento ko sa inyo sa Click Events Manila, tsaka doon sa mga kaibigan ko na events organizers din. So dati guys, event stylists used to provide mock setups for designs. So ang ginagawa nila is, kunyari, meron event sa Shangri-La, magma-mock up sila ng table doon para pakita, ito yung magiging itsura nun. So ngayon, obviously, hindi na pwede kasi there are restrictions for us to be able to do that. So there's an opportunity for one of my business partners who know how to do AutoCAD to actually design and create mock-ups. And ngayon guys, linalapitan siya ng mga event designers for them to be able to have that para doon sa mga na-postpone nilang event, makakita ng visual yung customer nila. And that's paid. Next is agility. And also by now, di ba, you should have diversified your business. Now, how do you diversify it? Medyo mahirap nga naman i-diversify ang isang SME business. So, did you already make a study of the different segments that you service? Okay? Like for example, there are live event customers and there are also corporate event customers. Okay? How do you serve each segment as the economy slowly opens? Tinanong nyo na ba yung sarili niyan? For example, the past 2 months, medical supplies and grocery supply chains are very big. Ngayon, manufacturing and construction na yung lumalabas na next winners. So, naisip nyo na ba kung paano nyo sila isa-service? Okay? Have you made use of your assets you are not earning from? Like for example, meron ka bang piece of land or piece of equipment na hindi mo nagagamit, may paggagamitan ka ba? Now, what I realized is my company is not a company that provides event services. Akala ko dati na yung company ko is sa event services lang, na wala na events, wala na, patay na kami. It's actually a company that provides services for events. So I did not focus on the events, but rather focus on the services. Now, what do I mean by that? Meron kaming graphic artists at digital marketing personnel. Okay? So, dati iniisip ko, shucks, wala na akong event, paano ko gagawin yan or paano ko may utilize, paano ko sila pasasweldohin. Now, I was able to divert costs by getting projects that require the skill sets that I currently have. Okay? Sa ngayon, ang daming digital ads, di ba? So, kailangan mo ng graphic artist. And at the same time, a lot of people are actually doing e-commerce. So, kailangan mo ng mga digital marketing personnel and at the same time, mga online sellers. So, ang nangyari is, I was able to divert these personnel doing that and I earn a little, but the best payoff is actually I have created a revenue stream from them. Also, strategic. Your strategy 3 months ago should be totally different now. Okay, so for example, sa first circle, if our strategy in February was to grow and actually have acquisition, and it's still the case now, we might need to really make some changes before it's too late. So how do we roll with the waves? So in February, for example, ang strategy was to get clients and get them to sign up. Sa March, pinaltan namin yung strategy. So the strategy was to actually collect money. And then April, iniba rin namin yung strategy for us to be able to restructure contracts. So naiiba, depende kung ano nagiging trend ngayon. And lastly, guys, flexibility by looking for new sales channels. Look to expand your e-commerce offerings. Guys, ang daming marketplaces, promise, na pwede kayong pagbentahan ngayon online. Okay? So please do explore that kasi makakatulong talaga sa inyo. Okay? So my last slide before we go on to Attorney Karla is the technique is actually to go through things slow but steady. So si China, nag-open na bigla yung economy niya, no? So one of the lessons from the Chinese businesses is that post-coronavirus, economic recovery might be faster than we expect. Akala natin medyo mabagal, pero actually mabilis siya. So what you need to do is you need to make sure that wag kayo masyadong takot. Because if you cut back to far today, you might not be positioned to capitalize on the post-crisis recovery. You need to make sure that you're ready to ride the waves once the economy is recovering. Also, make some long-term investments in your business right now, especially if you are experiencing a short-term slowdown. There's no need for you to worry about the short term, but actually look at your sites in the future. And also, if you have a few big prospects na alam mo na, for example, ay hindi yan ngayon o order sa akin. Pero guys, as the economy picks up, bantayan nyo lang. There will always be a need for them, for you to supply them with the goods or services that they need. Okay? So I guess, guys, you're familiar with Jack Ma, no? So he said that for people in businesses or for people in business in 2020, it's really a year for staying alive. Don't even talk about your dreams or plans. Just make sure you stay alive. If you can stay alive, then you would have made a profit already. So before we move on to Attorney Karla, I would just have to say, guys, that this pandemic actually presents a very good opportunity for us. There is heavy competition in the market, and this pandemic presents an opportunity for us to be on the same starting point. Okay? Wala ngayon nakakaungos kasi lahat pare-pareho na experience. We are all experiencing the same thing, and what you need to do now is actually create an edge para yung future mo is mas maganda compared to the others. Thank you, Attorney Karla. Your turn.
You're done na. Thank you so much, Marcos, for that, para siyang sharing session, no? The real experience of a true entrepreneur who's rolling with the punches for this time. For me now, I think I would like to supplement Marcos's learnings with a couple of reminders about the regulations that are being provided right now by the government. Yung kung hindi nyo po nasusundan masyado yung mga regulations, no, I think almost every day, if I'm not mistaken, throughout this whole ECQ, there's no day that there was no regulation na in-issue sa atin ng government to help us and guide us regarding what's happening or what we're supposed to be doing and what we should be doing next in preparation for what's coming. So I would like to start the presentation with I would like to show to you or highlight a couple of regulations, especially from the DOL, the Department of Labor and Employment. I think this is very, very relevant right now for our organization. And also, from the National Privacy Commission. Si National Privacy Commission, medyo tahimik siya, no? Hindi siya masyadong nasasama sa usapan in terms of COVID-19 regulations. But I think it's very important. And Marcos has already touched on this a little bit earlier, kung paano namin hinahandle yung health requirements ng aming mga employees when they slowly transition back to working at the office. And then also, this may be a little bit narrower for those that are living in certain areas where the LGU or the local government units are enforcing stricter regulations, especially for the businesses that are allowed to open during MECQ or GCQ. So again, my name is Attorney Karla. I'm the Data Privacy Officer and the General Counsel of First Circle. That's why I'm going to talk to you about DOL as well, or labor regulations, and NPC or privacy regulations. So first off, we have regulations from the Department of Labor and Employment. Kasi pag naiisip natin yung DOL na regulations, naiisip natin puro yung kanilang COVID assistance program, yung CAMP, the 5,000 peso one-time subsidy. We also talk about the SSS, DOF, small business wage subsidy na 8,000 pesos naman per month. So those two are mutually exclusive benefits for the employees that are not earning during this time. Pero the idea is these are for the members of the formal economy, no? Si DOL Camp at si SPWS, kailangan kailangan kang actual employment arrangement with your employer, and they will be the one to process this on your behalf. So yun, palagi napapag-usapan yung tungkol dun sa dalawang regulations na yun. I would like to bring your attention to some of the more recent ones. As recently as just 3 days ago, nag-issue ng 2 regulations si Department of Labor and Employment. It's labor advisories numbers 18 and 17. So what are these things? Marcos already talked about one, actually, yung cost of testing and preventive measures against COVID-19 among employees. These are actually going to be borne by your employer. It's very good that mention niya na it's important for us to make sure that our employees are safe and healthy, especially when they return to the workplace, especially even for high traffic workplaces. Let's say if you work in a mall, or if you work in a retail shop, or if you work in a showroom, and you really have to let people in and have them go around your workplace, because it's really part of the service or product that you offer, no? But the DOL reminds us na all of these preventive measures and the testing requirements, these are all going to be in the or for the account of the employer. Hindi po natin pwedeng ibawas kay employee kung sakali yung kanilang cost of testing. Hindi po yan part ng kanilang salary deductions, or hindi po siya utang sa company, no? The employer po talaga dapat yung mag-shoulder. Medyo syempre may konting pushback kay employer na parang ayoko yatang mag-shoulder ng testing. I heard another company preparing for, kasi before pa sila nag-open, they did rapid testing for their employees. When we know that rapid testing is a little bit cheaper than the swab test. But I've also heard of another company that actually did the swab test for their employees. No, it's an investment in the employees' health. If we look at the news and we see kung magkano yung cost of treatment for COVID-19, it could really go up to 1 million if you get the severe pneumonia and you really have to be put in aggressive treatment. It's very expensive. So we want to be able to prevent that by making sure that our employees are safe, but at the cost of the employer. Yon. And then si labor advisory number 17 naman, it's to assist the employers in their costing and in ensuring that they're able to sustain what Marcos was referring to earlier as their runway for the next month of possibly community quarantine, or baka recurring, kasi yung community quarantine natin depende sa pag-emerge ng new waves of infection. The government has allowed employers to negotiate with their employees regarding the temporary and voluntary reduction of wages and benefits for a period of not more than 6 months. So if you will notice, It's a voluntary agreement, number one. And then secondly, it's only temporary. We will be allowed as employers to reduce the benefits and salaries of our employees, pero only for us to be able to get back on our feet. Siyempre, naintindihan naman po ng gobyerno na since you have been out of operations for the past 2 months, talagang mahirap mag-sustain ng operations if you don't have enough cash flow. So what we try to do, what they have tried to do is to, para hindi kayo magtanggal ng tao, hindi nyo kailangan magbawas ng tao, bawasan na lang yung sweldo. At least may trabaho pa. In this market, it's very, very difficult for us to be able to look for work, especially if yung klase naman ng industry natin, we're not very highly skilled, or it's part of the industries that are going to be taking a while to get back on their feet. Like, let's say, the tourism, the travel, and hospitality industries, no? Parang hindi ka rin talaga makakahanap ng trabaho. So the idea is, kesa magbawas ng tao, magbawas na lang muna ng sweldo. And then, after these two very recent regulations, merong mga medyo mas maaga na inilabas ni DOL sa atin. Noong May 11, 2020, just as we were told that we are going to be transitioning to MECQ and GCQ for certain locations across the Philippines, naglabas din si DOL na interim guidelines on return to work. So, andyan po nakasulat yung requirements ni DOL for frequent workplace sanitation, regular temperature checks for all of the employees, mandatory wearing ng face mask, especially when we are in common areas, like yung pantry, kung may pantry tayo. Although I've also heard of some companies that have absolutely prohibited yung kanilang mga employees from using the pantry. Kasi syempre, kung may pantry ka sa office, the tendency is for people to actually congregate doon or to stay. Siyempre, magchichikahan muna, magkakape, magmemerienda, ganyan, during lunch, mag-uusap yung mga tao. So, what we want to do is to minimize that kind of interaction among employees, kasi that's also the way that the virus is transmitted among them. So, if ever na you will allow your employees pa rin to commingle with each other in your pantry or other common workspaces, you have to make sure that they are also wearing the face mask, and that there is enough sanitation supplies like alcohol or hand soap, paper towels, wet wipes that are around all over your office, para anytime they need to disinfect, anytime they need to wash their hands, or just parang ngayon force of habit na na gusto mo na lang lagi mag-alcohol kahit na hindi ka naman humawak ng madumi, kasi that's really the way that we can protect ourselves, and we can protect our loved ones as well as our co-workers. And finally, I just wanted to add this. This is a curious DOL regulation or issuance. Labor Advisory number 13, if you would notice, March 30, 2020 pa po siya. And you might think, ano ba yan? Bakit natin sinama yung March 30, 2020? Wala bang mas bago? Wala pa po that we know of na mas bagong regulation that has been issued on this particular point. But I think it's very relevant kasi po ito ay tungkol sa alam naman natin, mag-hire tayo ng bagong mga employees, they would go through a 6-month probationary period. But according to this Labor Advisory number 13, they are not the 1-month period ng ECQ, that is from March 17 to supposedly April 15 lang, hindi siya i-count towards the 6-month probationary period ng employees. Meaning, if your employee has joined you in January and then dapat by June, unless you terminate that employee, they would have become a regular employee already. Hindi natin isasama yung period ng 1 month of the ECQ. I included this regulation here because the expectation is there might be changes to it. So I think we have to be aware as employers na down the line, since umabot na ng 2.5 months ang ating community quarantine period, the DOL might actually adjust this period. So hindi lang isang buwan po ang imaminus natin sa 6-month probationary period ng ating new hires. The expectation could be more than 1 month talaga, eventually. Okay, so next, I'm going to discuss with you the National Privacy Commission and Department of Health Joint Memorandum Circular number 2020-002. So this was released naman po around late April in relation to the collection, processing, and disclosure of COVID-19 related data. If you would recall po, we have a Data Privacy Act of 2012, RA 10173, which includes sensitive information, sensitive personal information, yung health information ng mga tao. And now that we have this pandemic, this COVID-19 issue, personal information and health information become even more important to be protected and Pero at the same time, as an individual, meron tayong right to privacy. There's also the public's right to accessible information about the spread of the disease. So the National Privacy Commission came out with this regulation together with the Department of Health to guide partner agencies, mga health providers, and even employers like us na mag-collect and process and disclose ng personal data ng ating mga employees only for the purpose of disease surveillance and response. The processing of employees' information is only going to be for the purpose of disease surveillance and response. So hindi po pa pwede na, okay, nag-collect tayo ng information sa ating mga employees when they come back to work, and then we're going to use it for some other purpose. For example, isasama natin siya sa Facebook profile or sa website ng ating company unless, of course, may consent ng ating mga employees. Kasi that's really the keystone or yun yung pinaka-guiding principle ng data privacy. If your data subject consents to the processing and the purpose of the processing that you have provided, such as in this case, is only for the purpose of disease surveillance and response. Some companies, and we have also adopted the same approach, no? Before we allow our employees to resume working in the office, we have to have a picture of their health at that point. No? We want to know, have they actually exhibited any of the symptoms of COVID-19 in the past 14 days? Have they actually been outside of their homes, or have they been mingling with people who could be probable or confirmed cases of COVID-19? And their housemates, are they also more prone to catching COVID-19? We want to be able to capture that information so that we can have a means to do with contact tracing if ever. Kasi again, this is a very transmissible disease. So once we have one infected person in the workplace, you have to backtrack and see sino-sino yung mga nakasalamuhan niya. In this regulation, they limit close contact to 2 days before the onset of illness, assuming meron tayong illness symptoms. Kasi syempre, we know na meron mga asymptomatic carriers or asymptomatic infected. But if you're able to pinpoint yon, then we have a means to determine, okay, pumasok si employee ng ganitong araw. And then, nung araw na yon, ito yung mga taong nasa office din. And then, yung mga taong yon, ito yung mga number of housemates nila in their home. So, it's really a means of making sure that we're able to capture that information. Finally, moving away from national level guidance, so mga guidelines from our national government agencies, we may also look at what is being implemented by our specific local government units or LGUs. So, I highlighted here Pasig City and Cavite Province because they have been widely publicized to implement the stricter controls for social distancing, crowd control, and sanitation for the places or for the establishments that have opened within their territorial jurisdiction. Specifically po, nung nag-start ang MECQ noong May 16, and for some certain areas, GCQ na talaga siya noong May 16. We have been seeing news of people really flocking to the mall. Parang ang dami-dami nilang kailangan bilhin, tapos even those that do not have quarantine pass, if a quarantine pass is required by their city or their LGU, wala sila nun. But now, some of the LGUs have stepped up and said na you cannot continue on operating your establishment in such a manner. Kailangan magkaroon kayo ng provable implementation of social distancing protocols, sanitation, and crowd control. Otherwise, we will suspend your business unit. So merong, as an employer, as a company na nagsa-start pa lang ulit na mag-transition to the new normal or magsisimula pa lang ulit mag-operate, yung ibang skeleton workforce pa, di ba? Ngayon may threat na masususpend yung business permit ko if sakaling hindi ako follow ng actual social distancing protocols. And actually, ini-encourage din po ng mga LGUs na to do citizen reporting. Madali na kasi ngayon we can only just take a photo of a particular location, send it to the designated LGU reporting hotlines, and they will be able to check kung ito ba talagang location na to is not properly observing yung mga quarantine protocols natin. As the palace would always say, we're still under quarantine, even if we have relaxed it a little or we have relaxed it in steps incrementally. We are still under community quarantine. The virus is not going away. May vaccine na ba? Wala pa. So, dapat maging mas careful pa rin tayo in our dealings, even as we start to resume our operations slowly. We always have to make sure that our people are able to return to work, yes, but we also have to make sure that they're healthy and that they are safe while they're working. Kasi what makes a company great really is, at least in my experience at First Circle, what makes a company really great is how the people are working together and how they feel that they are achieving a common purpose. So we want to preserve that kind of mindset ng mga employees. Kasi mahirap na nga na mag-restart ng operations at this time. We have to make sure that they are healthy, physically, emotionally, and mentally as well. So, yun. I think for me, I really want to just emphasize that everything is in flux. Lahat po ngayon nagbabago. If dati may coffee shop kayo at you really want to have your patrons flocking to your coffee shop and staying there for hours, ngayon hindi na. What you really need to do is to go with the flow, to change your approach, make sure that you are informed so that you can make the right decisions. And if you can be you can be resilient, you can be flexible, and agile, as Marcos pointed out earlier, then that's even better. Because you can find ways to make sure that you can start your business and you can actually sustain your operations even after full community quarantine is lifted. And one of the ways you can do that really is to make sure that you have enough runway, enough finances to support your operations, even as you move towards these different operational channels. So, yeah, I think that's it for me. JP, Jerry?
Yeah, thank you so much, Attorney and Marcos. Grabe, daming learnings doon.
Yan, hindi na ako mute. Okay, hello. Salamat. Okay yun especially yung mga tips din ni Marcos on how to save your cash, 'di ba? Yung mga pwede mong gawin agad-agad para ma-extend yung runway, yung runway, 'di ba? Yung mga ganon. And kaya Tony naman yung what the companies can do in terms of the employer-employee relationships and all those. And I think ang dami pumapasok ng mga questions here on the live comments about I think more on attorney talk also. But before that, mag-shoutout lang ako. Napansin ko may mga nanonood tayo mga kaibigan also who are members of UnionBank GlobalLinker. Welcome, GlobalLinkers, to the webinar this morning. How are you guys? And nakita ko kanina yung uncle ko nanonood. So hi, shoutout ako. Tito, from Karla. Hi, welcome to the show. Nakita ko lang. Anyway, so yeah, I guess, Jerry, meron ka ba mga questions? Gusto mo iba to?
Yeah, actually, as you mentioned, may mga maraming questions ngayon sa chat box. So, siguro iunahin ko na to si Patricia. Attorney, sabi niya, hindi daw required yung employer mag-shoulder ng testing ng employee. Siguro you can clarify ano yung sinasabi talaga ng government.
Hindi required ang testing. But if the employer does decide to implement testing, then si employer po ang magbabayad nun. I guess matatamaan na natin yung tanong dito ng KC na si salary deduction, no. The Dole said na hindi po pwedeng maging salary deduction. So ang clear po sa atin, COVID testing is not required, but if the employer wants to have that done, it's going to be for the employer's account. Siya yung magbabayad.
Okay.
Hindi pwedeng ipasa kay employee.
Okay, so thank you for clarifying that. So hindi required yung testing, but if the employer decides to do so, ang mag-shoulder non-employer, hindi pwedeng ipasa sa employee.
Hindi pwedeng ipasa. employee.
Also, Danny has, yun, medyo mahaba yung question niya, but basically, would it be acceptable daw to change the salary scheme in alignment with the temporary salary deduction?
Meron ako actually na I've heard of certain companies na ganyan yung ginawa, na parang, syempre, instead of a 5-day work week, ang ginawa nila, 3 days na lang, or 4 days. Depende. And you get paid only for the days that you actually work. Meron din akong alam na ang ginawa nila is, you will be paid your full day's work, but honesty basis yung pagbibilang mo ng oras ng 8 hours. So kung hindi ka maka 8 hours, proportionately, babawasan nila yung sweldo mo. So yes, there's a little bit more creativity that's given to the employers at this point. Pero I like to emphasize na kailangan voluntary at saka malinaw kay employee kung paano yung operation, ano man yung i-adopt na scheme ni employer regarding the temporary salary reduction. It has to be very clear to the employee and it has to be agreed by the employee.
Yeah. Same based from experience, just to add to what Karla said, I also consulted employer friends before implementing it with my own employees in the company that I own. So there was a reduction, but also we really based it on the output of the people. So tama nga na like for example, pwede bang MWF na lang kayong magtrabaho kasi hindi ko naman kayo kailangan ng Tuesdays and Thursdays, to be honest. So pumayag naman sila ng ganung setup, and we were able to make a compromise. Pero tama, communicate very well with the employee and make sure that you have a very, very good agreement.
Yes.
In fact, if for example, MWF ka lang natatrabaho kay Marcos, pag TTH, baka gusto mong maging first circle agent. Kasi we have a referral and an agent program as well.
Yes.
So you have to diversify your income streams. Kung sa current na work mo, you're on a reduced workday basis, then you can explore other options. You can apply for first circle, for example, or ibang or learning activities. I've seen on Facebook, syempre si Facebook ads, maraming mga binabatong kung ano-ano yan sa'yo. English is a second language teacher or other different rackets. Yung gig economy na dati akala natin parang patsi-patsi na trabaho lang, ngayon. Hindi. It's really how you can survive.
Yeah. I think it underscores na ang importante ngayon, 'di ba? Yung kumbaga agreement and also desire between the employer and the employee to work together towards a win-win situation. Diba?
Yes,
In that case, the employee needs to understand na kung hindi gagawin yon, baka hindi mag-survive yung company. And in the process naman, yung employer, as much as they can, diba, they should find ways to expanding revenue stream nila, for example, to help the employee. So, I think yun yung key partnership na yon as it is, na dapat mag-work together yung employer and employee.
Yes.
Correct. Ngayon sa panahon ngayon, hindi na parang boss lang ngayon, diba? Hindi boss ang katrabaho talaga, partner. Very important yung di ba yung mga management techniques na tinatawag nila, yung mga yung mga pag nagti-team meeting kayo, di ba? Dapat involvement, yung mga ganung bagay, di ba? Tapos ownership of the action steps, yan, mga importante yan. So one tip na mabibigyan natin talaga sa mga SMEs is, especially now na malilift na, sana, totally, ang lockdown. Siguro unang gawin nyo talaga is mag-Zoom call na kayo with your employees, di ba? Planuhin nyo sabay-sabay anong magiging next steps natin. Right? And you never know, one of your employees might have that brightest idea na hindi nyo nakikita. Di ba? Mga ganang pagkakataon. Yeah.
Hindi exclusive ang knowledge.
Totoo. Marcos, may question ako. Yung minimension mo kanina about making sure that you also keep your credit lines open. How can you suggest that SMEs who never had a credit line, yung first time pa lang nila talaga mag-assess kung pwede sila sa credit line, what are the things and sino yung mga pwede nilang lapitan immediately for those things?
Yeah, so there are banks who offer these credit lines. No? So as all of you may know, UnionBank is one of them. And also, First Circle is a company also who offers this. So, simple lang naman, how do people apply for it? So, uumpisa syempre, i-check yung credit standing mo kung kaya ka bang pautangin or kaya kang bigyan ng credit line. So, submit ng ID, business documents, and i-assess na from there if you're able to you're able to or we're able to lend to you. Tapos pagkatapos nun, di ba, ang minention ko din kanina, meron tayo tinatawag na working capital financing. Tapos na-mention ko din na walang collateral. So ano bang kailangan mo or requirements para makakuha ng short-term financing? Pagbalik ng ekonomiya or pag-pick up ng economy, pag nakatanggap ka na ng purchase order or invoice or any document that's similar to it, mga award contract, pwede mo siyang gamitin na pang-apply for you to be able to get a working capital loan. So simple. Usually tumatagal to ng 1 to 2 weeks lang, hindi mo kailangan maghintay ng buwan para makakuha ng credit line.
And then, dagdag ko lang siguro sa sinabi ni Marcos, no? In relation to the social distancing protocols with COVID-19, application for first circle loans and other types of loans din naman na offered na, if it's possible by the bank, like Union Bank, then you would actually not have to fill out forms manually. You don't have to go to the offices or to the bank branches to apply. All of these are done online. So application processing, all of the communications with the customers, the disbursement, they're all going to be done remotely. So you don't have to worry about having to travel to certain locations or having to, ilang checkpoints ba yung kailangan kong daanan bago ako makarating sa bangko. I've heard that there are banks now in certain LGUs na pinapapasok lang nila for transactions are those that have the quarantine passes. So, kung wala kang quarantine pass, hindi ka pa papasok dun sa bangko. Mahihirapan ka doon, diba? So, if you're already in need of financing, then you can start to explore online lending-based companies like First Circle, and I think there are a lot of others kung sakaling hindi po yung First Circle ang first option ninyo. You can also look into that para din hindi na natin kailangan mabas ng mga bahay na.
Yes.
Okay. Meron bang mga limitations on what kind of contracts could be used to borrow? I mean, kuwari, it's an agricultural contract or maybe it's a contract that's due in the next 180 or 360 days, yung mga ganon.
Yeah. So to answer your question, JP, so limitation to the contract, specifically for First Circle, what I can say is what we honor are what we call B2B transactions, so business-to-business transactions, or business serving other businesses as well. In terms of the term length of your contracts or your trade documents na tinatawag natin, actually malalaman mo kung if it's within 1 to 6 months short-term financing talaga. So best talaga kung within 1 to 6 months maganda na kumuha ka ng short-term financing from financial partners that are able to do this.
Right, I see. Okay, so I guess meron pa tayo mga questions dito. Si Echo Logic, do First Circle help SMEs all over Asia, all over the world ba yan, or it's only in the Philippines?
Ngayon, Philippines pa lang, but syempre gusto natin maging global in the future.
Yeah.
Right. Ito, pagkakataon ko mag-plug in, may question dito si Danny. Is it possible to apply for a bank loan to cover employee salaries during ECQ period? Danny, I suggest you visit a very, very nice website, a platform that we also have. It's called seekcap.ph. Ipapalabas ko yung link para makatulong. That's for in terms of the bank. But you know what, to everyone here, First Circle is also one of our partners and providers inside UnionBank GlobalLinker. So kung papasok po kayo sa aming platform, makikita niyo doon si First Circle. Available sila doon para sa inyo. So meron po kaming link between the two para makatulong sa mga financing requirements ninyo daan. Yan. Alright. Jerry, meron pa bang mga questions on your end?
Yes, interesting yon yung mga loans na available, no? Si Maria has a question pa rin related to labor. Sabi niya, reduction of salaries for the next months daw. What if the employee decides to resign? Will the benefits be based on the original salary daw or on the pay cut amount?
Wala pang official guidance from the DOL on this. Pero I think if magiging proportionate siya, kasi parang it will be like nung nag-start po tayo, probationary employee tayo, ito yung sweldo natin. Nung nag-regularize tayo, tumaas yung sweldo natin. Pagdating ng 13th month, blended po siya. So, in the same way, na kapag regular salary mo is this, and then nagkaroon ng reduction, by the time that you resign, it would be a blend as well of those two different values. Kasi hindi din naman natin po ma-force sa employer na wala na nga siyang, or gipit na nga siya, tinatry na nga niya i-extend yung runway niya, as Marcos was explaining earlier, no? Tapos i-force pa natin siya to make sure na kumpleto lahat ng benefits natin. It's going to be pegged at the lower cost. If you're going to resign during, it's going to be pegged at both those costs, the blended rate siya. If you're going to resign during the 6 months na mababa po ang ating sweldo. But if you resign now, then yung magiging basis is yung current salary mo. Kasi hindi pa effective yung agreement. Remember, kailangan may agreement muna tayo before the implementation of the reduction. So, hindi siya unilateral ba with the employer. Although I've also heard of some that have done that, but that was before this particular guidance was issued by the DOL.
Okay. Attorney, in terms of the reduction of work, di ba, na-mention natin kanina, like, na-mention din ni Marcos na, let's say, MWF lang, etc. Is there a limit to that or a guideline from the government na dapat maximum 50% lang or 30% lang, etc.? Or it's really up to the employer and employee to make that agreement?
It's up to them, yes. I think there are companies that what they did is the higher your salary is, the bigger yung cut doon sa iyong salary. Siyempre, hindi naman pwedeng across the board 50%. Kasi paano naman yung mga nasa baba na hindi gaano mataas yung sweldo to begin with, tapos kakalatiin mo bigla. So, kawawa din naman sila. So, it's a matter of equitable arrangement between employer and employee. Siyempre, gusto natin na may living wage sa ating employee. Kasi kung wala, edi paano pa siya makakapasok? Paano pa niya mabubuhay yung pamilya niya, di ba? Baka maghanap na lang din siya ng ibang trabaho talaga.
Yeah, that's good. And also may question ako about the testing. Meron bang guideline on how often it should be done? Assuming the company decides to pursue with the testing ng employees.
I think I haven't seen a specific guideline on how often it should be done. But the idea is if you are going to resume operations, then the employees that will be reporting for work have to be tested. Ganun yung nangyayari. Practice among companies that I have heard of. And then how often it is, it depends, I think, on your company's funding. Kung kaya ba nilang every 14 days, because we know that the symptoms usually show up after 14 days in yung incubation period. So, if your company can actually afford to conduct testing for the employees twice a month, for those that show up at the office or the field work, yun yung trabaho nila, then better. But that assumes that you have the resources to be able to pull that off.
Okay. May follow-up question si Danny. Sabi niya, what if the employee and employer agree to maintain the new salary arrangement even after ECQ? Can this be done daw through an amendment of the contract?
Okay. Actually, ang nakalagay naman dun sa ating shall not exceed 6 months. Pero after such period, pwede pa rin mag-review si employer and si employee kasi baka hindi lang 6 months yung kailangan to be able to actually get back to normal operations and normal revenue level. For example, if travel industry ka or hospitality, ang nakalagay naman dun sa ating shall not exceed 6. I'm not sure if 6 months. 6 months is enough for you to recover, no? So, it depends. 6 months yung minimum initial. And then, you can review and agree with your employer kung ano ba yung best way forward for both employer and employee.
Okay. Thank you. There's also a question, JP, ni Echo. So, importers, exporters can also apply?
Yeah, I think that's for Marcos actually, or attorney.
Yeah, importers and exporters are able to apply so long as your buyers are local companies as well. We accept the documents from them.
Yes. Echo also, just to add, inside our platform GlobalLinker, there are other financing opportunities that also applies for import and export companies. All right. I can see that we've already extended our time. And I guess the other questions naman po is halos kapareho lang din ng mga ibang questions kanina. So I hope nasagot din na ating mga speakers. So before anything, Marcos and Attorney, baka you have some final words or you'd like to some final remarks para sa ating mga viewers.
Ladies first, Karla.
Hi. Okay. I think you can already see on your screens yung firstcircle.ph. That's our website for making, just maybe exploring. Even if nasa bahay pa po tayo, we're not among the industries that are allowed to operate under the MECQ, you can already to start to explore what are your options for financing after you're actually allowed out of your houses and to actually start operating again under the new normal. I think it's very important that we are able to get reliable information, especially about guidelines from the government, whether sa national po or sa local government natin. If we can use technology for this, like I know that certain LGUs already have Viber groups, official Viber groups from their city government. So you can already join that. Alamin nating mabuti ano ba yung mga responsibility natin bilang employer. Sa ating mga employee, once we start operations again, and after that, maybe let's also look at making sure that our business has enough runway or has enough funding to be able to sustain operations in the coming months. Thank you very much for joining us here with UB GlobalLinker and Olern.
Yep. Same with Karla, guys. Wag po tayong big kasi the economy is opening up, and as I've suggested, one of the best options that you can do is actually seek financing opportunities already that will help you jumpstart your business once the economy picks up. So just to give you an idea, guys, do not forget that our First Circle is open from 9 o'clock until 6 o'clock from Mondays to Fridays. You can call us at 8580-3200. Email us at support@firstcircle.com or live chat. You can visit our website at firstcircle.ph and we'll be more than happy to entertain your questions. And thank you to Olern and UnionBank for the invitation in today's event.
Actually, salamat din kasi marami kami
Salamat.
natutunan talaga. Oh, guys, thank you so much to our speakers.
Yeah.
Maraming salamat. Right, Jerry,
Bye.
thank you.
Yes.
This is a good learning day, no?
Yes. Actually ako gusto ko na na-summarize ni attorney yung from the three government yung departments natin, di ba? From DOLE, data privacy, and LGU-specific requirements. Kasi minsan ang daming information, hindi mo na alam kung ano na nga ba yung updated. So I like na si attorney was able to lay down kung ano yung mga relevant guidelines for sa atin, mga MSMEs from DOLE, data privacy, and LGU-specific requirements.
Yes.
And then si Marcos din, when he shared kung paano mag-transition, ang ganda nung mga examples, specific examples na binigay niya from his own experience. So I think mas na-crystallize ng mga MSMEs na nakikinig kung paano nga ba talaga mag-transition rather than receiving generic advice lang. Diba? Yung mga specific examples na yan, very helpful.
Yes, nagustuhan ko din yung mga the things that they mentioned about the employer-employee relationship, especially on the sweldo, on the money side, no?
Yes.
And how this situation, yung mga tips nila kung paano tayo makakapag-negotiate with our employees para makasurvive yung business, which is actually true. If the business closes in the next 2 months, everyone loses at the end.
Yeah,
so why not
that's
we find
true.
a win-win situation for all? That's very nice. Actually, it's also a segue because not everyone knows that inside GlobalLinker, hindi lang siya para sa mga business owners. It's also for your employees. So you can actually ask your
Wow.
employees or tell them to sign in because we're doing a lot of programs for employees as well. I can announce this already, Jerry. No, we will be
Sure.
having a formal partnership with Olern to provide
Yeah.
modules and learning materials for the employer and the employees. We are also having a discussions with a very, very famous guy named Paulo Tibig. Kilala ni Jerry yan, si Paulo.
Yes.
And he's a very, very good
Champ.
Yes, he's a very, very good motivational speaker for employees also. So in fact, we're not just going to take care of the business, we're going to take care holistically, even your employees. So guys, thank you so much. I hope you really log in, sign up to Union Bank Global Linker. I see one of my friends, si Raymond Rodis, is here also watching the show. And for his question, bukas ba ang Ortigas branch? Yes, bukas pa ang Union Bank
Yeah.
head office Ortigas branch. Yeah, Raymond, bukas yan para sa'yo. All right. Guys, again, we have extended for 15 minutes already, but thank you so much for watching. We really do appreciate that in every webinar that we do in partnership with Olern, nandito kayo kasama namin and nasi-share nyo pa to others to watch. No? Maraming salamat po.
Yes, maraming salamat for watching, and you can check out yung Union Bank Global Linker link below. Sign up, sabi nga ni JP, hindi lang mga entrepreneurs ang nandun, kundi even your employees can also sign up because they have a lot of good programs to help you out. So yan, maraming salamat ulit sa ating guest, si Attorney Karla and si Marcus. Thank you so much, JP, for this another session natin ng Union Bank Global Linker.
Maraming salamat din, Jerry, and I hope to see you guys soon again. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.